In this edition of Lesser Known and Living Rural Arts, we hear about something called the blas, as I believe it's pronounced. This, I have been informed, is a kind of intonation in the use of Gaelic, which is to be heard mainly along the western seaboard of the Republic of Eire. But the use of the blas has been brought to a very fine art in the town of Ballykilferret, so much so that many of the local inhabitants are able to use the blas without the actual use of words. Gael Lunacy explains.
Well, it's mainly a sound really, but it takes a bit of learning, like, you know. You wouldn't get the hang of it right away, like, you could be years at it and not get it right, like.
But I understand that the blas is used mainly in conjunction with the Gaelic language. Is that not correct?
Well, you might say that I was correct at one time, but you see, no one ever spoke Irish round here, not as long as I can remember anyway, and my father, he didn't speak it, and he said his father didn't speak it before him, like.
So, in fact, there's no tradition of the Irish language being spoken in Ballykilferret?
Well, no, not really, like. You see, according to the schoolmaster, the first of the Kilferret family, Hugo de Kilferret.
Hugo de Kilferret?
Aye, he came here very early on, like, before any of the other settlers come to Ireland, like, and he was a right bio by all accounts. He bet all around him, like, and he gave him a week to give up the Irish, like.
Oh, he sounds very fierce indeed. But surely he spoke Norman French rather than English?
Well, he probably used a fair bit of bad language, all right, but sure, that was only half of what he was up to by all accounts. And I'm not talking about whist drives or quiz shows either. You know, like he was...
Yeah, quite, yes.
Well, anyway, they gave up the Irish and never spoke it after, like, and there was an old book below in the school, and I believe it was called Lower na Shonini, and that was supposed to be like Daniel's, if that's the correct word, of Ballykilferret, you know.
Well, I'm sure Lower na Shonini is full of stirring tales.
Well, there's good stories in it, all right, like. You see, the people around here was always in farmers, like, and that brought a lot of money into the area, like. Well, that all went, like, when the independence come, like, and the people around here was poor then, like. The story of all that, like, was in an old ballad that my father used to sing. It was called Red Coats a Boo. Like, he often came home, like, with his lip all split, like, you know, for singing that song in pubs outside the area. He'd only have a bar of it out of him, like, and they'd beat the hell out of him. He was a great man to lie down under punches.
Well, to return to the blas, could you give examples of how it's used?
Well, it's used mainly, like, with strangers, like if you were a stranger here, which you are, like, and you were asking me something, like, I might give you the blas, like, so that you wouldn't understand, like, what I'd be saying. If you'd like to try your hand at it, like, you can. Maybe you'd ask me something that a stranger, like, might ask, and I'd give you the blas, like, would you like to try it?
Yes, rather. Yes, that'd be fun. Yes, well, I'll ask you something, and let's see. Yes. Am I on the right road for Ballykilferret?
I'll bet you didn't understand that, did you?
No, indeed. Not one solitary syllable. Splendid. Gael Lunacy. And in conclusion, I would like to play for you a recording of the winning entry for the annual Ballykilferret Blas competition, which is held in the local hall, which I believe is called Holla na Shonini. This entry was called Blas Poem Without Words.
Shut up, man. Don't put it lads, give it back. Shut up. Shut up, lads. You're a loser. The whole lot of you is a loser.